a war on our hands. Right now, this is happening between Donald Trump and the Dream Team. We have Elon Musk, JD Vance, Vivek, RFK, Tulsi, Matt Gaetz, all against the bureaucrats. Trump is deploying a team of what he calls warrior lawyers to find out all the regulations that are unlawful, that are holding back the American people and the American dream. They were only set up because someone in Washington got paid and removed, and Trump wants to remove them all. He's not going to just go in and just allow things to be, but he's ready to come in and deregulate the bureaucratic government. Right now, there's a lot of career politicians that have made a lot of money through what they call lobbyists. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been spent to influence government policy, and it's been against these lawmakers. And Trump said he's done with it. He said it's over. We're going to deregulate. We're going to allow American people to move forward and do the best that they can. With that, there's a lot of talk now that people are just trying to come up against Trump and the Dream Team like never before. Matt Gaetz is reportedly ready to go in because remember, he's going to be Trump's attorney general into every swing state for the 2020 elections and look at how all things were counted and look at all the evidence and bring it to light. He's even reportedly going after the Colorado Secretary of State, Jenna Griswold, for leaking the voting machine passwords to the public. Trump has already stated that they will pass a mandatory voter ID law for federal elections, but now Gaetz is ready to bring the truth of what's happened in previous elections to make sure that moving forward, the American people know. We also have it where we've heard about Alex Jones and his show InfoWars and how it was reportedly purchased by The Onion, which a federal judge blocked because it was done in what they call an illegal way. And Alex Jones is actually being helped out by Elon Musk lawyers. So Elon Musk has truly been red-pilled, come over to the MAGA side, and now he's helping everybody. We got a ton more breaking news tonight. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. Want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel. The link is in the description to join the TrueLife News fam. Y'all are already having a good time in the chat. Let's go. We got an amazing community here. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. We're so grateful. In about a week, we're going to be doing a live donation online to give back in this Thanksgiving time. But we are so thankful for you all. But let's jump right into it because the Democrats are losing it when it comes to Donald Trump's Dream Team. Check this out.
A group of outsiders are certainly ruffling feathers in the liberal media, and no one has caused more of an uproar than the man he appointed to make America healthy again, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the head of the Department of Health and Human Services.
Well, America, I hope you like measles.
This is a termite appointment. We know for sure that Bobby Kennedy is a vaccine denier. He's a vaccine denier. He denies being a denier, but he is a denier. And he is going to do great harm.
The most important thing to know about Robert Kennedy Jr. is that there are probably people dead tonight because of him.
Wow.
But RFK Jr. isn't the only one the liberal media and Democrats are smearing. Check out these outrageous attacks on Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard.
This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of black officers to the top brass. And the military is actually a very important area for black advancement.
Tulsi Gabbard's nomination, as much as she says that she's an anti-war person, she's not.
Yeah.
She supports very pro-war individuals.
Including
abroad.
in Syria.
Okay. You know, I'm gonna kind of go backwards. This woman, this Cheryl Lynn Ifill, she's the head of the NAACP, apparently the Legal Defense Fund president, and she can't point to a statement or a part of Pete Hegseth's books where she can attribute his being a white supremacist, but she has concluded that he is one based upon what she says is his opposition to advancement of black individuals. Now, you know, their outrage is so beyond the pale. It is so over the top that, you know, the claims are incredible. They're saying that RFK, the people are dead tonight. This Lawrence O'Donnell, people are dead tonight because of RFK's opposition to the vaccine during COVID. And that, you know, Tulsi Gabbard is pro-war because she likes people who are pro-war. I like Netanyahu, but what does that mean?
We're all about to get skinny and fit. We're about to end a war, and we're about to release the JFK files. Why would anybody complain about that? I mean, this is exciting. This is fun. We're on the precipice of something really good, and everyone's just name-calling. Now, they're saying the same things about the cabinet as they said about Trump, that he's this anti-science, white supremacist, warmongering Putin puppet. That didn't work. They need a new approach. They're not even debating policy. No one's talking about what Tulsi's plans are for Ukraine or what Pete wants to do with China or what RFK Jr. really wants to do with food. They're supposed to be the smart ones on CNN and MSNBC. They're the ones with the masters and PhDs. They spent $400,000 just to call someone who's a conservative a white supremacist. That's a lot of money to know how to name call. Jake Tapper was a debate moderator. And what does he have? I hope you like measles. I'm starting to think he's being told what to say because the ad sales guys over at CNN might be saying, don't go after big food and big pharma because they've lost $250 million over the last 4 years under Joe Biden because you can't do that and continue to have a real job. This is going to be so much fun to get skinny and having everybody be hot again. Because if you look at 1990, this was just a smoking hot country, all right? Then everybody started getting obese and overweight. What happened in 1990? They put ultra-processed food into the food pyramid. They unleashed pharmaceutical drugs into the doctor's offices, and they moved everybody out of factories into the office to stare at a screen all day. So we all just look like Jabba the Hutt. And so he comes along and says, let's just clean up the food and everybody maybe take a hike. How can you be against that?
Make America hot again.
Make America hot again.
Yeah, that's right, Greg. Greg, you know what? I mean,
I love it, everybody, because the dream team is really, really coming together. Trump came out and released who his press secretary is going to be. Caroline Leavitt. She was the campaign press person, the main press person, done a phenomenal job defending Trump throughout that all. But now she's a part of the dream team as well. Judy Lynn Loving Spirit, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, I love giving to help others in this channel and what you do for others, Joel. God bless you. God bless you too. And Sharon Hold, thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all show Sharon and Judy Lynn some love in the chat, everybody. So not only do we got a new press secretary that's going to be just as on fire as Kayleigh McEnany was, but guess who else is ready to partner with Trump? And I promise you, you're not going to be able to guess who this is. Bernie Sanders, baby. Oh, burn. I remember they used to have these signs that say, can you feel the burn? No, I'm good. He said, I look forward to working with Trump administration on fulfilling his promise to cap credit card interest at 10%. Because, I've looked at it all. Trust me. Average interest rate for credit cards is like 24-25% right now. It is insane. He said, we cannot continue to allow big banks to make record profits by ripping off Americans by charging them 25 to 30% interest rate. That is usury. 100%. So not only is Trump bringing the dream team together, all the outsiders, because remember, Bernie Sanders is an outsider of the Democratic Party. And yes, he's a socialist and he's, believes in all that. But he is a true believer in trying to take care of the people. But what I love is that Trump is getting more support from a lot of different places. Not only that, check this out. Elon Musk, X, formerly Twitter, has filed a lawsuit to block California's deepfake law, arguing that it violates free speech rights. Elon Musk's lawyer team is on fire right now. They're helping Alex Jones. He helped with Trump in the RNC. Now he's helping to fight, make sure that we have free speech like never before. Always. Even if Gavin, what they call him, Newsom, doesn't want it. On top of that, check this out.
People, think about this, okay? Even better kind of a true story moment here for you. Think about this. You've gone to your big donors and said, I need $100,000. Your big donor, it's a lot of money to get Kamala Harris elected because this guy is freaking Hitler. Now, all of a sudden, you give your $100,000. You're calling up you got a direct line to these ringers. You're like, what the just happened? You told me to give you $100K to stop Hitler. Now you're shaking his hand? Folks, it's been the whole time. And the media had an opportunity to correct and get the left on the straight and narrow and say, listen, fight the fight the right way on the issues. You object to Trump, say why. Stop calling him Hitler. Nobody's going to buy it. You're going to gin up your base. And you're going to look like morons. They couldn't do it because the lefty media people are freaking commies too. And I have not heard this expressed any better, this show included, than Greg Gutfeld on The Five. He's saying right here in this short 1-minute clip, he's talking about exactly what I'm saying, that the media had an opportunity for a sister soldier moment where they could have finally said, listen, whatever, we don't like this guy. Here's why you think he's dangerous, but that's out of line, okay? He's not a racist. He's not a misogynist. He's not a Nazi, and you didn't do it. And now your time is up because now you're going to have to admit to your people you were the whole time. This is an unbelievable clip. Watch every second of this. Check this out.
Greg, how do you think the Democrat Party's autopsy is going?
Well, first of all, the media is like the creep that's responsible for the disappearance of his spouse, but then volunteers to lead the search party. You know, in this case, it's a disappearance of truth, and they lied about everything, but they're offering their help, you know, to expose the suspects, comb the fields, put flyers up on telephone poles. But the jig is up. It's not about left or right anymore. We know that you're the real killer, OJ. It's the media that fed the hoaxes, that created this complete, I don't know, mental breakdown. Identity politics has to go, but it has this permanent flaw. It can only work by telling you who isn't included as it tells you who is. When you look at the people that are important, it creates a hierarchy and it pisses people off. In this case, it was black men, Hispanic men. So how do you rectify this when you've raised a generation on basically junk food for your soul? It's toxic. I mean, you have to admit, if you abandon it, you're going to lose a faction. But you know that it's a small faction. This is the Band-Aid that you actually have to pull off.
They don't want to rip off the Band-Aid. For those of you who don't remember the sister soldier moment, it's critical you understand this. Please look it up. It was when Bill Clinton was asked as president to condemn this rapper, Sister Soldier, who put out this song with these lyrics. And everybody told him, don't do it. You're going to offend this community, that community, leave it alone. And he went out and did it. And you know what? He went out and did it. And a lot of Republicans and others were like, okay, I may not like the guy, but at least he did it. That's what a sister soldier moment is. It's when you do something that the right thing and not the easy thing. The media had that opportunity. They didn't do it. And their credibility is now nobody believes them. Here, you want more evidence? Again. What has two thumbs and told you JD's the guy? This guy. Here's a Guy Benson tweet. How it started. Here's how it's going for JD Vance. He entered the race with the worst favorability ratings of any VP pick in the modern polling area. Leave that. Why is that, by the way? Leave that up. Why? Not because of JD. I told you. Cut through the bull. This guy's amazing. He's going to be great. The media said he's weird. Well, how well did that stick? Double barrel middle finger. It didn't. JD ended the campaign as the only candidate on either major ticket with a positive favorability score amongst the electorate. Extraordinary. Thank you, Guy, but it's not extraordinary if you knew JD. I told you what the media was going to do. And because nobody trusts these idiots anymore and everybody's laughing at them, JD went from being attacked as weird to people going, well, the media said he's weird, so that probably means he isn't weird. Let me look into it. Oh, wow, not only is he not weird, this guy's a really great candidate. By the way, keep your eyes on this in Pennsylvania. They're trying to steal that Pennsylvania Senate race. I don't think they're going to be successful, but after the Norm Coleman, Al Franken debacle in Minnesota, I'm not so sure. Be very careful. Keep your eyes on Pennsylvania, where Mark Elias and Bob Casey are trying to steal outright steal. Of course, they're election deniers, but keep your eye on. There's a tweet up about this. Their lawyers are actually in court right now arguing to count ballots of non-registered voters, unsigned mail-in ballots without dates, and ballots cast in a county where the voter does not live. In other words, illegal ballots. Why? Because that's what the Democrats do. They're election deniers. Be very careful about that race. Really, keep your eyes on it.
We are 100% because I'm telling you, remember, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Check this out. Matt Gaetz, as Attorney General, will reportedly investigate Colorado Secretary of State Jenna Griswold for leaking vote machine passwords to the public. There's also this just came out. So just what Bongino was talking about, where they're now counting illegal ballots. Well, guess what? In Bucks County, Kamala Harris is only 300 votes behind Trump. I don't know what their plan is and I don't know what they're trying to do, but this right here is desperate. Thank you so much, Andy, for the super chat. He said, did Joe Biden get the $8 billion that he was asking for a few days ago? He probably got to a speaker. Can you look into this? He did. Remember, everybody, they've allocated, I think it's I want to say 300, it's close to $300 billion in aid to Ukraine. That as long as it's for the next 10 years, as long as the war keeps going on, that we'll keep giving them money. And we give it out in disbursements. And he did get that $8 billion because they had already agreed on it before. But again, too, if the war stops, we stop, which is super important. And this is something, too, because right now, what we're seeing with the border, what we're seeing where money's being spent, all the wasted money that I've been showing you, is a big of it. Remember, last year we spent $156 billion on illegal immigrant benefits. $156 billion with the B dollars. Listen to what Tom Homan, who came out and said what's going to happen on the first day of Trump's presidency. Check this out.
But what's your overarching message to Americans who are eager for major action on minute one, like inauguration day, 1 second in? How much will you be able to improve the life of everyday Americans?
I got 3 words for him. Shock and awe. Shock and awe.
I love it.
You're going to see us take this country back. And look, like I said before, it isn't just about the deportation operation. It isn't just about saving the children. It ain't about securing the border. What's the result? Less overdose deaths, less sex trafficking. For God's sakes, one of the worst crimes around. Less migrants dying. Under this administration, over 4,000 aliens have died crossing that border, an historic record. When President Trump, had illegal immigration on 90%, had that border shut down, he saved thousands of lives. So less aliens die, less Americans die. Wages will increase because you don't have all that illegal labor working for pennies on a dollar up here. Sex trafficking is going to vastly increase. This country is going to be alien crime. You're going to see that reduce significantly. As far as Trenda, Agua, and MS-13, a notice to you, my gang's bigger than your gang, and we're going to take you out too. So I can't wait to get started. I'm excited about coming back, serving this country again. Took a huge pay cut, but my wife said if you don't go back, we're going to get divorced because I'm sick and tired of you waking up every day pissed off about you not being able to do anything. So I'm excited about coming back.
Well, Tom, I love the energy. Thank you for all of the time. Thank you for everything that you do. I can't wait for you to get started on all of this. And, listen, I look forward to having you on a bunch to give the American people an actual recap. I mean, so much of this administration is going to be about that transparency, understanding what their government is actually doing, seeing it.
I'm telling you, that's the most important things, is the transparency, because there's crap that happens behind the scenes you have no idea about. Crunk Juice, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. They said when the left goes bonkers over Trump's nomination, it signals to us that we are on the right track. So according to the logic, Matt Gaetz is Trump's best pick so far. Let's go. Y'all show Crunk Juice some love in the chat. What I want to show you right here, everybody, is this is the part that nobody sees. Listen to what this says. Whether they do their own lobbying or hired out DC's infamous K Street firms, these organizations spend the most trying to influence government policy. Look how much money, this was just in 2023. National Association of Realtors, $52 million. American Hospital Association, $30 million. Blue Cross Blue Shield, $28 million. Pharmaceutical Research, $27 million. What do? They're spending millions of dollars to control the laws that which we live by. This crap is what Donald Trump said we're getting out. We can't live by this anymore. Where the money behind closed doors that you don't see, look at this. Meta, Facebook spent almost $20 million trying to influence laws on how we live, on what Alphabet, Google, General Motors, Pfizer, Lockheed Martin. This is the type of stuff that this is hundreds of millions of dollars happening behind the scenes that we got to get away from, because these people are controlling politicians who are then making laws that are trying to control our lives. But that's why they're so fearful of Donald Trump. Check this out.
All right, Democrats can barely keep up with the fastballs thrown by the Trump transition team. The president-elect continues to fill out his cabinet. He's opted for nominees that he believes can be trusted to carry out the MAGA agenda, which, of course, terrifies the keepers of the status quo. So ricocheting across social media were photos and videos of Trump and all his friends partying the night away.
We are in the presence of a really mythical character.
Guys, it's Rocky.
When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Guess what? We got the second George Washington.
You know, I'm a person that believes in high IQs, and his is about as high as they get. Elon Musk, Elon. You know, he likes this place. I can't get him out of here. I guess if you like health and if you like people that live a long time, it's the most important position. RFK Jr.
Now, watching this just must be salt in the wounds of Democrats. They're still reeling over Republicans' trifecta win. When not trashing Trump's picks, we'll get to that, they're busy finger-pointing at each other. The influential left-of-center website Slate published a piece today. The title is, "Democrats, You Have to Do Better Than This." There's been basically zero accountability, they write. No real reckoning from the Democratic National Committee on how it managed to spend $1 billion on the only Democratic presidential popular vote loss in 20 years. No apologies from Chuck Schumer. No introspective messaging about losing not just the presidency, but the Senate and the House. Meanwhile, Democrat members are growing increasingly irritated by Nancy Pelosi after she blamed Biden for the party losses. Nevertheless, as Trump's win has really begun to sink in, some Democrats are finally beginning, and I say beginning, to grapple with what the Angle told you years ago. That, frankly, the Democrat Party is just out of touch with the middle class. They focus way too much on abortion. They went way too far woke. And, of course, that they said Joe Biden was weak and waited too long to step aside. Or that Kamala was a lousy candidate. We told you she was. And that campaigning with the never-Trumpers, Liz Cheney, come on, that was a huge mistake. And right now, when you think about this, at this moment, Democrats are kind of facing the same challenges that the GOP faced after Romney lost in 2012.
Yep.
Do you stay with the same approach and the same arguments, or do you just decide to go in a different direction to try to reach more voters? Now, in the GOP back then, the division was between the old GOP back then. The division was between the old guard, represented by folks like Jeb Bush, who kind of stuck to the 2005 era messaging, versus the newcomer on the scene, Donald Trump, and then all of his followers. Of course, we know Trump believed that to win, the GOP had to reconnect with the working class, and that included ethnic minorities, even if that meant that we needed to change our positions on military intervention, war, trade, and immigration. Of course, Trump won, attracting Hispanics, young voters, and more black voters. And the Republican Party, thank the good Lord, changed for the better. But where does this leave the Democrats? Well, this leaves the Democrats with nothing but their current posture, spitting in the wind. Against Trump's DNI nominee, Tulsi Gabbard, they're lobbing the typical smears with zero evidence.
Do you think Tulsi Gabbard is a candidate to be compromised by a foreign country?
I don't know. There's a lot of speculation right now. She needs to answer these questions.
The things she has said is making Democrats like yourself wonder if she's some kind of like Manchurian candidate.
Some people, as you know, say that, the reason why she's doing that is potentially because there was some financial arrangement.
Well, I've heard that it kind of could be a financial. I'm watching this today. Like, are you kidding me? It's like 8th grade. But given the screw-ups in the intel community, like anyone remember the Chinese spy balloon? What are the Democrats really going to gain politically by defending the intel community and all the things that it's missed? Of course, their record is just riddled with failure. And Tulsi's the problem? And what about Trump's nominee for Pentagon chief, Pete Hegseth? He keeps taking incoming.
I'm going to add the Secretary of Defense nominee, Peter Hegseth. This is someone who, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of black officers to the top brass.
It's just defamation at this point. But what will the Democrats really gain if they're just seen as standing with the woke crusaders at the Pentagon?
DoD Pride is comprised of lesbians, gays, bisexual, transgender, and queer civilians, service members, veterans, contractors, family members, and allies.
We have also expanded access to care for service members and their dependents who identify as transgender.
Oh my God, the poor military service members having to listen to that. And then you think about it. What happens when the Democrats' media collaborators throw dirt at Trump's nominee for AG?
The ethics investigation has not been released yet. What about all of the questions and the allegations against him?
You said it yourself, these are allegations. It's amazing that you're more upset about allegations than you are about the weaponization of the Department of Justice. The American public has completely lost faith in the DOJ. Think about it. The DOJ sending their agents to spy on the parents who go to, the school board meetings. It's just amazing. As the American public has seen all of this, they see somebody like Matt Gaetz who's willing to stand up and call it wrong.
Well, Andrea Mitchell didn't really have an answer to any of that. Apparently, opposition is building against Gaetz in the Senate, but still, consider the weaponization, as Senator Hagerty said, that Biden's perfect resume Attorney General Merrick Garland is accused of. It's stunning.
This is the thing, too. What we're seeing, it's just a repeat of what we've already experienced in the past 4 years. They don't have a new playbook. They're constantly just going back to the same thing, trying to say the worst of the worst, but the American people see through it. Thank you so much, Virginia Lim, for the super chat. Let's go. She said, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and all your efforts to bring us the truth, up-to-date news since President Trump's big win. This old lady feels so much better about our future. Thank you. Let's go. Y'all show Virginia some love in the chat, everybody. So here's a couple more examples. I'm telling you, a lot of this stuff keeps popping out of government waste. So on this one, we've shown you a couple of these, but I had no idea we gave $58.7 million from the State Department to China. Like, what are we doing? We've got another one where, check this out. This is a huge list right here. I don't know about you, but it says right here, I'm not okay with this. We spent $1.5 million to study the mating call of the country frogs to see if they're different than the city frogs. Because that is so important in truly Trump's feeding, children or people that don't have any food or homeless veterans. We just have to know the mating call of these stupid frogs. Like, this is what our government has decided is more important as a priority. It is literally ridiculous. But again, too, remember, Trump is not playing around. He came out with another video today about how he's going to take care of Americans and make sure to reduce our cost. Check this out.
Higher energy costs raise the price of food, raw materials, shipping, transportation, construction, manufacturing, and everything else. The country that now benefits most from Joe Biden's radical left Green New Deal is China. High energy prices in America are a gift to China, a major factor in driving our heavy industry overseas. If you want to be an advanced manufacturing nation, you must be able to produce low-cost energy. You'll never be a rich nation without it. And if you want to deindustrialize the United States, then you would seek to drive up the cost of energy here as much as possible, just as Joe Biden has done, perhaps unknowingly. That I don't know. When I'm back in the White House, I will bring back a pro-American energy policy at long last. As you know, China paid hundreds of billions of dollars to the United States when I was president. No other president got 10 cents.
Let's
Check
go.
it out. Not even 10 cents. I will deploy a team of warrior lawyers to hunt down every unnecessary regulation in the Federal Registry that hampers domestic production, and we will wipe them off the books. We will again get out of Paris, and we will rapidly issue approvals for all worthy energy infrastructure projects with a focus on maximum speed to bring prices down rapidly. So get those proposals ready now, because we are going to put thousands of Americans to work building the power plants, pipelines, grids, ports, refineries, and shipping terminals of tomorrow. We are going to have very inexpensive energy again, like we did just 2.5 years ago. This great undertaking will also help restore hope and aspiration to America's young people. Instead of being irrationally terrified by political predictions of climate apocalypse, instead of toiling for low wages or left-wing make-work projects, I have a vision that will give young Americans the chance to find real meaning in work once again, like we had it 2.5 years ago. Building the backbone of America that is powerful, prosperous, productive, vigorous, modern, independent, and free. We will be great again as a country under the next Trump administration. The return of American jobs and the American dream will be powered by the return of American energy. Nobody has more liquid gold under their feet than the United States of America, and we will use it and profit by it and live with it, and we will be rich again, and we will be happy again, and we will be proud again. Thank you.
Man, I'm telling you what, I get fired up, guys. When I see this type of stuff that's coming out, I mean, Trump is just not holding anything back. But again, too, you know, when you think about it, it's so insane to think that all these other politicians that are paid off in some form or fashion, they would rather allow other things to happen than to actually allow Trump, or actually allow America to live and be energy independent, which makes literally no sense. But there's a lot of things moving, guys. I'm telling you. Check this out.
White House, Mar-a-Lago, has been full of surprises this week, from staffing picks to celebrity cameos.
We're in the presence of a really mythical character. Nobody in the world could have pulled off what he pulled off, so I'm in awe. When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Because without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations.
The Washington Post says Mar-a-Lago is the center of the political universe. It's attracting everybody from cabinet contenders to foreign diplomats. And everyone's having a good time.
People ask me what my favorite day on the campaign trail was all the time. And I think clearly the best day of the campaign trail was the day that we won. Maybe the second best day of the campaign trail was the day that my 4-year-old walked into the back of the plane, the Trump Force 2 plane, and told the media that they were all fake news. and then, not 15 minutes later, our German Shepherd puppy walked back there and took a
And the Argentinian president straight up destroying the dance floor. People don't feel like leaving.
Elon. What a job. What a job he does. He's a great, and he happens to be a really good guy. You know, he likes this place. I can't get him out of here. He just likes this place. And you know what? I like having him here, too. He's good.
Elon says, get used to it. He's not leaving.
I think this is going to be the most transformative presidency, perhaps since the founding of the country. And President Trump is picking the cabinet to do it. You can see that the choices are people who are actually going to make change. It's not going to be business as usual. We're going to shake things up. It's going to be a revolution.
And just like revolutionary times, America's on a land grab. Trump world is talking about buying Greenland again. And the cabinet's filling up. This just in. Caroline Leavitt has been named White House press secretary.
Let's go.
She's 27, just had a baby, and she was Trump's campaign press secretary. Remember this?
It takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has consistently
stop this interview if you're going to keep
President
attacking
Trump
my colleagues.
to Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop
no,
this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf,
and I
am
will
willing
do
to have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay.
Now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel.
For,
Caroline, thank you very much for your time. You are welcome to come back at any point.
And she's going to be coming back as White House press secretary. Caroline Leavitt's composed, disciplined, and articulate, and will be very effective behind the podium. Watch out, Peter Doocy. Trump's tapping North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum to head the Department of Interior. But that's not all. He's also going to be put in charge of the brand new National Energy Council. Not only is he going to be the drill baby drill czar, he's going to solidify our energy grid, add a little nuclear, and win the AI arms race. We're still waiting on a Treasury Secretary and an FBI director. And on the Senate side, the new majority leader says he's ready to push Trump's picks through.
What's the threshold for getting to that point for recess appointments?
Well, what I said is, Brett, and I think this is that all options are on the table, including recess appointments. Hopefully it doesn't get to that, but we'll find out fairly quickly whether the Democrats want to play ball or not.
Voters wanted complete upheaval in Washington, and they're about to get it. And Washington's a little antsy.
We're watching something happen in slow motion that is terrifying. We're seeing termites unleashed on everything. And this is a termite appointment.
They are MAGA warriors. They are in your face. These are not uniting people. These are not uniting picks. These are in your face to the medical community, to the intelligence community, to the military community.
This is the cabinet that you nominate to not to run the U.S. government to do anything, but to destroy the U.S. government.
Why are journalists defending the status quo? American journalists think the CIA and the FBI are doing a good job? They're against making America healthy again? What, they don't want to lose weight? Why are journalists afraid of Trump's cabinet declassifying his assassination files? What are they afraid of? Why is the media so afraid of getting the truth out? The media thinks the Pentagon's perfect? That's suspicious. It's almost like the media is working for the government. The medical community lied about the lockdowns, the intel community lied about the laptop, and the military lied about Afghanistan for 20 years. Thousands of federal employees need to be fired, and their documents better not be destroyed before the cavalry comes in. Democrats can't believe Trump's about to clean house because no one's ever done it before.
These three essential roles might be led by individuals with no requisite or relevant background, and in fact, a history of just kind of outrageous and.
But I guess my point is, didn't America vote for this? Isn't this what people, they saw it, they voted for it.
You know, from my perspective, it is shocking, it is not surprising, but the American people, and certainly the people I represent, are good people.
People running these agencies with relevant background is why we're in this mess.
Exactly.
It was all just a bunch of insiders failing up and then covering up. Instead of trying to understand who Trump's cabinet is, what they believe, and why they're there, the left's calling Tulsi and Pete the same thing they called Trump, racist Russian puppets. The American people shrugged that off last Tuesday. but they're still not listening.
She's considered to be essentially, by most assessments, a Russian asset, and would be the most.
Is that how you consider her? Is that what you consider her?
Oh yes, there's no question.
The Secretary of Defense nominee, Peter Hegseth. This is someone who, you know, is known to be a white supremacist, known to be an extremist, whose platform, whose book is basically about his opposition to the advancement of black officers to the top brass.
I would just say that Hegseth would say that he would deny strenuously he's a white supremacist. He has, I just want to
so did Trump.
Put that in the record.
If Tulsi wants peace, she's a Russian asset. Or maybe the war's unwinnable and she's smart to end it before everybody winds up broken dead. Why is everybody afraid of having that debate? Prove it's winnable. I'm open-minded. And Pete not believing in DEI doesn't make him racist. It makes him a believer in merit. That's what most Americans believe in. That's what Martin Luther King believed in. Here's a black member of the Obama cabinet who says Pete's rock solid.
I've given the benefit of the doubt on at least the nomination at this point, because here's somebody who is well-educated, obviously intelligent, was in financial services, was in the Wall Street community for a while, could have made a lot of money and chose to leave that, put on the uniform of our country and seek combat.
The Democrat governor of Colorado says he's excited about RFK being at the helm of health. Democrat Mayor Eric Adams loves the pick.
You heard us talk about RFK Jr. being the head of HHS. What do you think about that appointment?
Let's be clear. There's a real problem with our food in our country. And we need to watch what we're feeding our children. And
what is the major problem, do you think?
Too much hormones. You know, many people know my, you know, I almost lost my sight with diabetes. The doctor told me I would be blind in a year. I was going to lose my fingers and toes.
Wow.
And it was my food. It wasn't my DNA. It was my dinner.
John Fetterman says Trump's victory is a serious flex for the bros. Quote, I love people that are absolutely going to vote for Trump. They're not fascists. So scolding harder or clutching the pearls harder, that's never going to work for Democrats.
Wow.
Look at all these Democrats.
Hey, I don't know about y'all, but I think Fetterman might be the next person to come over and be red-pilled and be MAGA, because that is a crazy statement to say.
It's getting on board. Trump's unifying the country, and he hasn't even been sworn in yet. This isn't an ideological revolution. This is a country that's sick, corrupt, and in debt. Workers can't afford food. The border's wide open, and there's a dude in your daughter's locker room. Trump promised to fix it.
Yes.
And if you're not helping, you're part of the problem. Complaining and name-calling isn't going anywhere. This is a new age. The tricks they tried in the past aren't going to work anymore. Country's not having it. This country's coming together to get it together, whether the far left likes it or not. Americans want to be safe, rich, healthy, and fit. It shouldn't have taken a revolution to demand that, but this is where we are. Brooke Rollins worked in the first Trump White House and is now the president. And
I'm telling you, what we're seeing right now is just so amazing. Like, one of the biggest things right here that they're talking about, remember, that Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk are talking about literally eliminating agencies. Like, this is how big that they're talking about when they talk about eliminating the government waste and fat, because there's so much of it they're asking, are they actually doing what they need to do? Are they serving the American people? Or are they just a bunch of really well-paid government officials just making it harder on the American people? This is what we're talking about. Patrick Lund, Thanksgiving giveaway. Yeah, I think we can do one. I think we do a Thanksgiving giveaway. I think that'd be great. Check this out, everybody, because this, to me, when you have a person of this just stature in terms of his business acumen and what he says about what Vivek and Elon Musk are about to do, it's super important to hear. Check this out.
Claiming countdown yesterday, and I thought he brought up a fantastic point. It's been something I've been thinking about. Will they be incorporating AI into this efficiency and not just firing people, but getting machines to do more? Listen to this.
Here's where you're going to get the money. You're going to get the money by making these organizations more efficient. You're going to invest in technology. I don't think the federal government has invested in a lot of technology. I don't think there's a lot of AI in the government. I don't think there's a lot of high-end computing in the government. We're going to use modern technology to make the government more efficient and cut down on the administrative cost. Administrative cost is huge in the U.S. government.
What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I saw that interview. You know, most people's criticism of this appointment is saying it's just consultants and they're just pointing fingers at waste. No, it isn't. It's different this time. Let me explain why. Elon has his own network, 1 billion people watching him every day. He's the largest contributor to his own network, X, formerly Twitter, as we all know. So here's how this is going to work. Let's say they identify a cost-plus contract. These are egregious contracts. You know, maybe in Massachusetts, you're building a bridge to nowhere, you're spending $2 billion. He'll focus on that. He'll show you why it's a waste, and then he'll start to shame out Elizabeth Warren or somebody else to millions of people online, squeezing her head in front of her own voters. I love this idea. Now, it's going to be very contentious. That's the power he has. He doesn't need to have legislative power. He can squeeze from the bottom up. Your senator, your governor, your manager is wasting your money. Here's how. I'm going to remind you about it every day until you make her change. Love it. I love it.
Yeah, the power of a megaphone, Kevin, I think is very real here. I got to ask you about this. So you're our energy guy. I was definitely team Doug Burgum for energy secretary. I thought that would have been great for that space. He didn't get it. He got interior secretary. But as I thought more about that, there's a lot of relationship between interior and the permitting that has to happen to use our natural resources. What do you make of that?
Yeah, look, I'm kind of with you. I was a supporter of Burgum because I worked for him in North Dakota. I managed a lot of entrepreneurial money there. I think it's a great state. But if it's not energy, interior is good because I want to open up the ANWR. I want to use that to reduce debt. That's part of the mandate there. And he wants to use energy to solve problems in America, to reduce inflation and also bring more cash against deficit. I like it. You know, it's sort of, to me, better than nothing. He's got a full mandate and he's got some power here. He is a fantastic entrepreneur. Remember what he did. He was part of the Microsoft team. He's a tech guy, loves energy, but he also understands the environmental issues. This guy is pure gold for the administration. I think Trump knows that.
We love to get your thoughts on sort of the investing landscape as well. You've talked a lot about how President-elect Trump has sort of saved entrepreneurship, right? Bringing back investors and people who believe in innovating in this country. What do you mean by that?
What I mean is remove the roadblocks is the key. Now, what happened here was the big decision. Are we going to go in the different direction? We decided to go towards more of the typical strategy of lower taxes, more innovation, less regulation. The market is really liking that. But for small entrepreneurs, what you need to do is remove regulation because they can't afford lawyers. They can't afford publicists. They can't afford lobbyists. And I think that's what Trump's going to do on a federal level. And with this interior thing with Burgum we just mentioned, maybe he'll open up some land for housing. That would be good too. There's a lot of opportunity here and the market senses it. Plus he's pro-crypto, pro-digital. I'm loving it. You know, I'm a policy guy. I love the policies ahead, and I'm investing according to it. I think the whole world is doing the same thing. Now, there's a lot on his head right now. Trump's going to really have to deliver here, but I think that's why he's shaking it up with some of these more controversial proposals.
Real quick on crypto, Kevin. Obviously, we saw a huge run up. Now we're seeing some, you know, a little bit of a bounce down. It seems normal to me staying in that range. I think people are still pretty bullish on it. But how are you? How do you look at it?
I am bullish, and the reason I'm bullish is the more it gets brought into the traditional regulatory environment, and the rumor on the street, and I've mentioned this before, is the CFTC, a commodities regulator, is going to get more power on crypto. So we know the direction now that the SEC is going to change. Maybe Gensler's not around in the future, and it's more CFTC. That means if I'm an institutional investor and I want to buy a 3% weighting in Bitcoin in my portfolio, I have to do that. And I'm agnostic to the price. I'm going to hold it for 10, 12 years. And there's going to be a lot of demand, and that's why this particular digital asset is moving ahead so quickly. Going to be volatile, but I see it over 100,000 maybe by the end of the year. I'm in that camp, and I own it, and I'm long it, and I think it's great.
We'll have to see if Anthony...
I'm telling you what, everything is popping off. You know, the stock market hits new highs. You got crypto doing really, really well. And everybody is just feeling great about where things are going. You know, Iran came out and said that they weren't trying to take out Trump. And what's really bothering me is, like, you know, Pence came out and now he's urging the Senate to reject RFK's role for HHS. I think he's just bitter. Because remember, when the January 6th thing happened, dude, he threw Trump under the bus in a heartbeat. I mean, it didn't take long for him to condemn him and all this stuff. And it was just such a bad look. And now Trump's back in the office. Remember, if Pence would have stuck by him, loyal, then he probably could have been the vice president. I don't know. But now Trump's back in office. He's got a whole new dream team. And I think Pence is just soured. Let me know your thoughts. Because RFK is probably the only person I think that could actually go out there and knows enough intellectually about all the things that need to change to get America healthy again. I love it. And just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. Y'all are so awesome. I love this community. I love bringing y'all the top news. We have breaking news every single day. Trump is coming out, you know, with this warrior lawyers he's calling to come and clean house. That's what we need. We need the dream team to come and do what they said they're going to do to help out the American people. And I just want to give some shout outs to Judy Lynn Loving Spirit, Sharon Holt, A&F Andy, Crunk Jews, Virginia Lem. Thank you so much for giving the super chat donations. We're so excited about where things are going, and man, I'm telling you, it's like there's a good peace. There's a good, something's in the air, everybody. You can feel it. A lot of people are happy because it's not just about Trump. He's got J.D. Vance. He's got Robert F. Kennedy. He's got Elon Musk. He's got Vivek. He's got Tulsi Gabbard, RFK. I mean, it's the dream team. But just want to say y'all are amazing. I love y'all. And I'm so grateful to be doing this for you every single day. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.